with a woman who allegedly stole 4 million rand from her employer's security depot.
Security guard is allegedly 4 million rands richer after walking away with millions at a cash and transit depot. It's been reported that the incident, at the time of the incident, Batobile Mlangeni allegedly cut open 2 cash bags with a pair of scissors before.
SPV Secure Solutions is one of South Africa's top cash-in-transit companies. They transport money in armored vehicles, refill ATMs, and handle cash for banks, stores, and other businesses. For years, the cash-in-transit industry in South Africa has faced serious danger. Armed gangs have attacked trucks, used explosives to break into vaults, and caused shootouts on busy roads. Moving large amounts of cash across the country has become risky and sometimes deadly, with bombings and gunfire happening far too often. Today, however, we turn to a case that couldn't be more different. In broad daylight, a 29-year-old SPV security guard slipped through the unthinkable. No guns, no violence, no dramatic explosions, just her, a pair of scissors, a trolley, and ordinary refuse bags. Our today's story is about Batobile Mlangeni. She was known in her community as a quiet, respectful young woman. Raised in Soweto, Idlamini, and the daughter of a pastor, she was deeply religious, often attending church and helping care for elders in her neighborhood. She kept to herself, lived a simple life, and was never known to cause trouble. After moving to a flat in Johannesburg for work, she visited home on her off day and remained involved in church. Bathobile worked as a security guard at SPV, earning an honest living, until the day everything changed. On July 15, 2019, Batobile unlocked 2 bulk cash sacks in the basement of the Mall of Africa depot, transferred 4 million rand in crisp banknotes into trash bags, and calmly wheeled her loot out the front door. The entire operation took minutes and not a single shot was fired. She then took the refuse bags and put them in a shopping trolley and calmly exited the mall. She disappeared overnight after walking out with 4 million rands in refuse bags on a trolley. She never reported back for work. I mean, that was her last day at work. This act was so brazen. 2 weeks later, she resurfaced in Buhle Township near Germiston, just a few minutes away from her home. Claiming to be on the run from an abusive boyfriend, she moved into a 3-room RDP house. There, she kept a low profile for 5 months. A friend who asked to remain anonymous recalls Batobile living quietly, contributing only to groceries, smoking when stressed, and spending most of her time indoors. She carried a few shabby clothes in a small bag and asked for pocket money for airtime. She refused to report the abuse, fearing that her boyfriend, a police officer, would make any complaint vanish. After each phone call, she would retreat to a nearby to destroy the SIM card. By December, she had found a new partner in the settlement and moved in with him. Her landlord, Sipho, remembers her as respectful and unobtrusive. The couple rented a single room from September until December and rarely ventured beyond the yard. None of these neighbors suspected that Mlangeni, known locally as Nati, was the mastermind of one of the most audacious heists in recent South African history. News of her alleged crime broke in February when her face appeared on the front page of the Sowetan, shocking friends and family alike. However, social media quickly buzzed with admiration for the heist she pulled off. People were amazed by how clean and quiet it was. No armed men, no explosions, just a single woman calmly walking away with millions. Her bravery and calculated approach earned her praise across platforms. A source close to the investigation says a community tip-off led police back to Buhle Park. They learned Batobile had lived with her friend, then moved in with her boyfriend, who claims he knew nothing of her true identity. When officers finally traced the couple, he told them she slipped away, leaving only a note. "It's sad and painful for me to leave you in the dark like this. There is something happening in my life that is not going right, and I do not want to involve you in it. I am sorry for leaving like this." Police continued their search while Batobile remained at large. At her family home in Dlamini, Soweto, her mother, worried and confused, said she hadn't seen or spoken to her daughter in over a year. A childhood friend adds that she stayed in touch after Batobile attended her sister's wedding in December but heard nothing once the media frenzy began. Even though officers were spotted visiting Batobile's Soweto residence between July and September, no one knew why. Johannesburg Task Team for Serious and Violent Crime received a tip-off that she was hiding in Zola, Soweto. From the outside, the house in Zola 3, Soweto, looks modest and unassuming, a neat concrete yard and simple facade. Inside, however, it's bright, comfortable and tastefully decorated. Over the years, the grandmother's grandchildren have even helped her renovate, building a new boundary wall and installing modern windows as a thank you for the care she gave them. In November 2021, 31-year-old Batobile Mlangeni arrived at this home and stayed with her grandmother for over 2 months. Though not related by blood, the elderly woman had known Batobile since childhood and treated her like one of her own. When Mlangeni asked for a place to stay, claiming to be on the run from an abusive boyfriend, the old lady welcomed her without hesitation. Neither the grandmother nor the tight-knit Zola community suspected anything amiss. Bathobile lived quietly. She slept on a thin mat on the bedroom floor, kept her few shabby clothes in a small bag, and even asked for pocket money to buy airtime. She smoked when stressed, applied for jobs without success, and never displayed signs of sudden wealth. No fancy car ever appeared in the yard, and there was never any large sum of money in evidence. Everything changed. Acting on a community tip-off, police descended on the unremarkable house. Batobile was spotted leaving to buy groceries. Moments later, she was in the back of a police van, shopping bag still in hand. Investigators arrested her in connection with a 4 million rands bank heist, one of the most brazen crimes in recent South African history. Little is known of Batobile's biological family beyond hints of conflict. Her mother hasn't seen her since mid-2019, of which it's suspicious, and despite police surveillance of relatives after the theft, nothing about their lifestyle suggested anything was wrong. Now, as forensic teams piece together how Batobile lived in plain sight. During her testimony at the Alexandra Magistrates Court, Batobile explained that she and co-worker Lisa Galdian had planned to take advantage of the depot's routine nightly cash overage. On the night of July 15, 2019, Batobile used scissors to open 2 bulk cash bags, transferred the excess banknotes into ordinary refuse bags, and wheeled them out of the Mall of Africa depot on a trolley. She then brought the bags to her home, where Galdian arrived to collect her share, about 2 million rands. Batobile kept the remaining 2 million rands and later handed it to her brother for safekeeping before disappearing. As of the latest reports, the 4 million rands Batobile Mlangeni stole has never been recovered. During her trial, Batobile claimed that she handed the money to her brother for safekeeping shortly after committing the theft. After that, her brother disappeared and could not be located by authorities. Despite police investigations and her arrest, no trace of the cash has been found. No money was recovered from her, her family, or any of her known associates. Batobile herself did not provide any more useful information during court proceedings about exactly where the cash went. The authorities continue to believe there may have been other accomplices involved, but without her cooperation, the case of the missing 4 million rands remains unsolved. There are no public records indicating that Lisa Galdian was ever arrested, charged, or sentenced for her role in the 4 million SPV depot theft. All we know is that during Batobile's March 2023 sentencing hearing, she testified that she and Galdian split the million rands haul, Galdian taking roughly half, but beyond that, Lisa Galdian's subsequent fate and any legal outcome remain unreported. Batobile was sentenced to 8 years in prison for stealing 4 million from SPV. None of the stolen money has been recovered. No accomplices have been caught with the missing money, but personally, I find the family's involvement very suspicious, especially the brother. Let me know in the comments down below, where do you think the 4 million is hiding?